Welcome back to What You Missed Gaming, the video game news show that knows it's dangerous to go alone and uninformed on the internet. So here, take this video game news with you, and stay informed, ladies and gentlemen.
Dear Grandmaster Gamer, I have been arrested by the dab police. Please bail me out. Signed, Protomario. You mean tell me Protomario was dabbing? Maybe I should just take over his show. Nah, I'll just bail him out. I don't want to have to deal with all that butt proto and comments and all that. I'm still waiting on Hollywood to call me. You got my number, Hollywood. I'll see you in the next Game of Thrones.
Hello and welcome back to What You Missed, Mavericks and YouTubers. Recently I challenged the GameTheory to a boxing match and he has yet to accept, probably because he's not seen the offer and more than likely he's not a boxer. Let's be real here. But it wasn't until I saw the comments that I realized a lot of things that occur on a daily basis on the internet. It's not that I didn't know these things occurred, but it's very, very disgusting to me to read a lot of these comments. Some people had accused me of using Hurricane Harvey and the destruction and devastation of people suffering in Texas to self-promote myself. Some people said I was leeching off of the Game Theorist, when in reality, the whole beef, the whole drama that had been happening with the Gamer from Mars, the Game Theorist, myself, and other critical videos, the way he responded to us, we didn't really appreciate it. We didn't really like it, and we thought it was pretty ridiculous and silly, and we think that MatPat doesn't take criticism that well. Oh well, it's not the end of the world. You know, this is the most minor beef you could possibly have on YouTube. You just don't think someone takes criticism that well. I offered to box him as a way to literally bury the hatchet and squash the beef, and if he's too busy or he's already done a donation stream, which he has, or he just doesn't have time to do this, or he's just not a boxer, that's fine. But it wasn't until I read some of those disgusting comments that I realized people are going to think and assume what they're going to think and assume, regardless to how much you try to explain your position. To benefit off of someone else's back as they are literally living through devastation is one of the worst things I could imagine someone would do, and I really hope that you don't think I'm doing this. If the Game Theorist does choose to accept my offer and box me for charity, I think it would be an outrageous and silly thing that would garner quite a lot of attention and thus also garner quite a lot of charity, and that's all I am looking to do. I'm a simple man. I like to box, I like to go to the gym, and I really don't think a collaboration theory would generate as much charity as something like a boxing event between two YouTubers. That's my thought process on this. You can feel free to leave your comments down in the section below. Again, open offer to the Game Theorist. If you want to come and box me, man, for charity, hey, I'm all for it. I'm down. Let's have a good time and let's raise some funds for Texas. Now, on to the news. So, according to Nintendo, Mario is no longer a plumber. Oh, okay. Alright. There's an official profile on Mario on the Japanese website, and this was translated by Kotaku, and it says, all around sporty, whether it's tennis, or baseball, or soccer, or car racing, Mario does everything cool. As a matter of fact, he also seems to have worked as a plumber long ago. This has led a lot of these really crappy news journal websites for gaming to assume that, oh my god, Mario's not a plumber anymore, and they make these really cringy clickbait articles about how Mario's not a plumber anymore to get views, and I'm calling them out, man. Whenever you see these crap articles, please don't give them attention. Please tweet about them, call them out, tell them, hey man, you know what, that's crap. Mario is a plumber. He may have worked as a plumber long ago, but you don't magically stop being a plumber because you're not doing that job anymore. Like, come on, man. Look, I'm not even getting my jimmies rustled here over this. I'm just really sick and tired of clickbait articles. Recently, The No was doing a clickbait article, I believe, on the Nintendo Switch lawsuit, where a lot of people had stated that, you know, they had titled it Nintendo Loses Lawsuit, and it was on the heels of the Switch being sued, so a lot of people assumed that it was for that, and they didn't include that it was over Wii accessories. And I had talked about it in another What You Missed episode. Can we stop the clickbait for real? Can we please? I tried to do my absolute best, and when people suggest me to change my titles or my thumbnails or add something, I do it. I do it if it makes sense, you know? So come on, man. This is ridiculous. It's been 30 years, IGN. It's been 30 years, Kotaku. It's been 30 years, all of you journalist websites. Of course he worked as a plumber a long time ago. 30 years is a long time. So Activision CEO hints at more historical Call of Duty settings because he stated that they may have done one too many futuristic settings. Quote, I think with the benefit of hindsight, he says, we can all agree we might have had one more future game than we needed. Yeah, you really don't say. Now, I think Call of Duty Infinite Warfare was a really good game, and I really do. I really think a lot of people who have not played it, who've just looked at it with a skewed perception, look, it's a good game, man. It's a good story. It breaks up the gameplay with flying segments. It's really fun. It really is, despite it being one too many futuristic setting games. Even I looked at it and said, why are you still doing this? But with Battlefield 1 coming out and this game coming out at the same time when it was, this one got a lot of flack for being futuristic, and that's all they're saying. And I agree. I think more historical games would be better instead of going into space. I've always said, hey man, just leave that to Halo. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I really enjoy Halo, and Halo's kind of a futuristic space FPS shooter. So 90% of Gearbox is apparently working on the game that's probably Borderlands 3. When asked, the Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford explained that 90% of Gearbox's development team is, quote, working on the thing I think most of you guys want us to be working on. What is that, Alien Colonial Marines 2? What is that, Duke Nukem Forever 2? I can't resist. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, yeah, so there's not much else to the story. Basically, they're working on Borderlands 3. I think a lot of people will be very excited for that because a lot of people really like Borderlands, and Borderlands, the series, is pretty good. If you haven't played 1 or 2, definitely check them out. They're very cheap to get now, so there you go. This is a big one. I have 2 Square Enix stories regarding Final Fantasy. So they said that Square Enix could stop Final Fantasy modding if there are too many adult mods. I can't believe I'm reading this. Okay, so I have to defend the freedom of the modding community to mod whatever they want, okay? I'm not saying that you guys can't do that, but what Square Enix and apparently the CEO of Square Enix, Tabata, is saying is, quote, if things are taken a little too far, modding might be affected or stopped entirely. So if there's anything we can say, it's try to be as controlled as possible. You're telling people who have historically not been controlled and historically put things in games that a lot of developers didn't want them to put in their games to have control. Do you realize that this is not going to happen and you're going to have a bunch of boobies in Final Fantasy 15? You know that, right? Well, there it is. And apparently, Square Enix tried to also run the Final Fantasy 15's engine on the Switch, and it didn't work well enough. Speaking to DualShockers again, Tabata explained that his team had tested the game's Luminous engine with the Switch, but couldn't, quote, bring out the most in the engine. Tabata also made it clear that no specific optimizations had been made to account for the Switch's power, which could allow the full game to run, really, in a realistic sense, but no further tests have been made. And that means that basically the game couldn't run as beautifully as they wanted it to, so it can't run at all. I would be shocked that there wouldn't be a way to optimize that game to run at 720p on the Switch as it runs on the Xbox One, but it's really not any surprise because the Xbox One is an 8-core CPU console where the Nintendo Switch definitely is not. So it really isn't a surprise. The only thing surprising is that they actually did try to do this. So apparently Final Fantasy 15's Pocket Edition will probably be more than likely the game that the Nintendo Switch receives. I'm not sure why. Maybe they could have just made it a very downscaled version of Final Fantasy 15. Who would want to buy that? I don't know. It would have been a portable version of Final Fantasy 15 though, so that would have been cool, I guess. Rocket League on the Nintendo Switch is apparently incredibly smooth as well. So that's 60 FPS on the Switch. A portable 60 FPS Rocket League sounds really great, but I would like to interject that my 2012-ish computer can run Rocket League at 1080p 72 frames locked, so that's not even pushing it. I could probably upscale 4K with FreeSync enabled on my curved monitor. Again, it's not portable, but you see what I'm saying. You know, if you really want to spend the money and get Rocket League on the Switch, feel free, but there it is. At least it runs well. So Skyrim on the Switch is everything you'd hoped it to be. So there's a big kind of review, I would say. This is talking about the demo. The biggest things to take from this is that this allows you to use amiibos. The load times are very very low. The game runs well with smooth frame rate and generally crisp textures, and very, very, very historically epic load times seemed shorter, according to this review here. So that's important because those load times were very long, and being into a cartridge means you'll be able to play Skyrim with incredibly low load times. PC gamers would only be able to do that with an SSD. I don't have much to say about the next story other than Metroid Samus Returns seems like a worthy return for Samus. This is no shocker. When Nintendo remasters games, they do a pretty dang good job. Finally, I want to close on the PlayStation Plus games of the month versus the games with gold. Once again, games with gold comes out on top for me with 10 times better games. The only good game that PlayStation Plus has is Infamous Second Son, and then with games with gold, you get Forza Motorsport 5. However, I did recently just buy Forza Motorsport 5 at Goodwill for $3, so that's saying something. The retail price is apparently $40 for that game, but let's be real, it's more like $17 at a GameStop or $20 on eBay. But then you also get Oxene Free, whatever that is. You get Hydro Thunder Hurricane as well, and that's a Xbox 360 arcade game. That's a really, really good game. I'm really excited to get that back. And then Battlefield 3 as well, which is, again, another really great game. Old, but really great. On the PlayStation side, you don't really get a lot of games that I would say is pretty decent. You get Hatoful Boyfriend, I can't say that for nothing. We Are Doomed, Handball 16, Tuck Racer, and Strike Vector EX. So again, I think everyone would agree with me in saying that Infamous The Second Son is probably the best thing that you're gonna get from the PlayStation Plus, and maybe Hatoful Boyfriend. I can't say that, I'm sorry. But it does seem that you get a better value with Xbox Live games with gold for this month. No hating on PlayStation, that's just how I feel. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you missed for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and please leave me a like if you did. Do you guys want to see me box the Game Theorist for charity? Let me know in the comments below, and tell me what you think about clickbait journalists talking about Mario once being a former plumber and no longer being a plumber. Oh my god, it's the end of the world, Nintendo. You guys have yourselves a great day. I'm your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. As always, good gaming, God bless, and thank you for watching.